You know, I thought Black Division was supposed to be the hardest part of Icebreaker. Turns out, my biggest enemy wasn't Black Division. It was my own computer. And if I'd given up after those first few raids, this video wouldn't exist. FPS is not quite where I'd like it. 63 frames? Why? Frame rate is so inconsistent on this map. I'm not sure why. It's a little troubling. Makes it really, really difficult. 60 FPS is no bueno. I need a little more than that, Tarkov. I need a little more than 60. We're at the engine room. With 60 FPS, this is... oh my god. This is going to be really frustrating if it keeps up like this. Alright. My frame rate is going from 120 to 60 and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I would rather it just stay at 60. This inconsistency is making me sick. There's attempt number 1. Died in the engine room, just like I kind of thought I would. I really need to address why my frame rate is so bad. 60 FPS is unacceptable. So, 387. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with this map, but performance is dog shit. Really frustrating. Boy, this is so fun. What a fun game. 400k every time I go in and die. Every single time. And a full kit, no insurance. Really, really frustrating. Pretty unacceptable, I gotta say. 52 frames per second. Are you shitting me right now? What is this? 55, 51. Brother. What is this? This is borderline unplayable right now. Like, what are we doing here? I can't even move! I can't even move, dude! Wow! How am I getting 60 frames per second? How? I'm about to crash out. 65, 63. What are we doing? What are we even doing? What is this? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. I just lost a $200,000 kit and 400,000 rubles, and I didn't even get off the deck of the ship. What are we doing? What are we doing? Well, I guess it's finally time. I've been avoiding Icebreaker ever since it released. I've been perfectly happy hunting cultists, making guides for you guys, and pretending this map didn't exist. But eventually, you gotta face the music. And honestly, I thought this was gonna be easy. After all, according to a healthy chunk of my comment section, PvE is basically baby mode. I practically live in PvE these days. So this should have been a first try clear. Worst fucking gun jam I've ever seen. Yeah. I wrapped up the last of the prerequisite quests, emptied my wallet buying supplies, loaded up fresh plates, meds, and the explosive charge. Headed to Shoreline. Hit the transit. And almost immediately, everything fell apart. At first I thought it was a fluke. Maybe I just got unlucky. Maybe I was just playing badly. But raid after raid after raid, it became impossible to ignore. FPS was swinging by well over 100 frames depending on just where I looked. Simple geometry tanked my performance. Massive hitches, micro stutters. Frames dropping into what felt like Nintendo 64 territory. And here's the frustrating part. I'm not exactly trying to run Tarkov on a potato. I got a Ryzen 7800X3D, a 7900 XT, 32 gigs of DDR5 at 6000 megahertz, an NVMe SSD. This computer absolutely tears through almost everything I throw at it. Icebreaker didn't care. Normally dying to Tarkov doesn't really bother me. Half the time it's because I made a bad decision, I had a greedy peek or missed audio cue, forgot to clear a corner, that's just Tarkov. But dying because the game decides to become a PowerPoint presentation, that'll test anybody's patience. Especially when Icebreaker doesn't return your insurance. Every death hurt. One run I managed to brute force my way through the engine room. cleared the helipad, extracted. Not because I won, but because I was just out of patience. I remember sitting there, staring at my monitor, thinking, man, this video's gonna suck. There were already dozens of creators making Icebreaker guides with perfect clears and speed runs and farm routes. Why would anybody want to watch me struggle through bad performance? For the first time in a long time, I seriously considered deleting the project. Then I thought about you guys. Over the last few weeks, this little community has grown way faster than I expected. Hundreds of comments, advice, encouragement, corrections when I get things wrong, so I figured, why not ask? I made a community post explaining everything with my specs, the performance, the micro stutters, the hitches. Honestly, I wasn't expecting a solution, I just wanted someone to tell me I wasn't losing my mind. Turns out I wasn't. Most of you voted, nope, Icebreaker just runs like ass. Yeah, that one probably wasn't necessary. There were a ton of good suggestions, most of them I'd already tried. But one comment completely changed everything. It linked me to a guide by another creator named Leth. I'll be honest, I rolled my eyes. Not because of him, but because Tarkov has about 8 million videos titled Ultimate FPS Guide, and most of them boil down to copy my settings. This one was different. Instead of telling everyone what settings to use, he teaches you how to figure out what's actually limiting your system. So I followed the benchmarking process, ran the analysis, joined the Discord, fed his AI prompt into ChatGPT, and finally, I had an answer. Icebreaker wasn't exposing a weak graphics card, it was hammering my CPU hard enough to bottleneck one of the best gaming processors on the market. That completely changed how I approached optimization. Power plan changes, Windows tweaks, background processes, everything aimed specifically at CPU performance. One of you also suggested capping my frame rate at 90 FPS. Honestly, at that point, I'd have tried sacrificing a scab to Nikita if someone told me it'd help. So I loaded back into Icebreaker and almost immediately, I knew something was different. It wasn't perfect. That infamous staircase still punished performance, but the random stutters were gone. The game felt stable. For the first time, I wasn't fighting my PC. I was fighting Icebreaker. And that's exactly how it should have been from the start. The opening section that had stopped me over and over finally fell. The engine room followed. Black Division were still monsters. Their aim is ridiculous. Their armor soaked up rounds. But every fight finally felt fair. And then I reached the helipad. Every previous run had fallen apart right there. Flashbangs, gas grenades, tiny peek angles, some of the nastiest AI in Tarkov. Normally this is where everything unraveled. This time, it didn't. Slowly, patiently, one by one, the helipad was mine. I looked down at my armor, barely holding together. I looked at the clock, not much time left. Looked over to Wedge's door. Any sane person would have extracted. I almost did. But then one thought crossed my mind. Did I really come all this way just to quit again? No, not this time. Dropped my backpack, reloaded every magazine I could, took a deep breath, and kept going. The area beneath the helipad has a reputation for a reason. Within seconds, I thought I'd made the worst decision of the entire raid. The first two Black Division practically inhaled my ammunition. I actually caught myself thinking, just leave. You've already won. But I didn't come this far just to wonder what would have happened. So I pushed. And somewhere during that push, everything changed. The panic disappeared. Everything slowed down. I stopped reacting and started anticipating. Every corner felt deliberate. Every peek had purpose. Headshot. 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 As I looped around to the other side to pick off the stragglers, I realized something. There weren't any more gunshots. I looked around. Wait, that's everybody. For the first time ever, the entire helipad was clear. I stood outside Wedge's door with the explosive charge in my hand, and then I looked at the timer. No grenades, no smoke, armor hanging on by a thread. I smiled. Next time, Wedge. Your days are numbered. Because for the first time, I actually believed I could beat him. I walked out loaded with Black Division gear, high-tier ammo, multiple sets of night vision, a GPU, and one of Icebreaker's exclusive analyzers that later sold for 2 million rubles. Not a bad day's work. And as I waited in the snow for the extraction helicopter, one thought popped in my head. Man, that was actually fun. That surprised me because a few hours earlier I never wanted to touch Icebreaker again. If it weren't for all of you, I probably never would have. So before I end this video, thank you. Not just for the optimization tips, not just for helping me fix the map, but for building a community where asking for help feels normal. That means more to me than you probably realize. I also have one more piece of news. Because of all of you, this channel is officially part of the YouTube Partner Program. That honestly doesn't even feel real. This started as a hobby, a place to share my love of Tarkov and laugh at my own mistakes. Now it's becoming something I can actually invest back into. And that's because of you. So, seriously, thank you. Wedge won today. Or maybe he just bought himself a little more time. Because this story isn't over. I'll be back. And next time, I'm finishing the job. Until then, I hope you all have a blessed day. I'm Skunk Monkey, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.